All right, Shalom. Let me uh pull this up. All right, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Ainal. The title of this video is Another Step Forward, M.O.T.B, right? And that's, in regards to Revelations, the 13th chapter, the 16th verse, regarding the M.O.T.B, which we implemented and forced upon the masses, right, through the rule of the world, which is Esau, even the so-called white man, right, in his quest for total control. So just another step forward, watching the news. We have a bill pad, it's called, a bill that was passed. It's called the Genius Bill. I went on Chat GPT and I asked it about it because this is just, in the news, watching, what's before us. And the time of great testing is going to be before us, where we have to choose to lean on the Lord Yahweh or to lean on Esau Edom. Right? The scriptures say we will no longer lean on him that smote us, but on the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai, right? And that would be the mindset of the hopeful elect in these last days. And obviously that's what you should do, right? So anyway, the Genius Bill, what is it? It says Genius stands for guiding and establishing national innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act. It's landmark legislation to regulate stablecoins, crypto tokens pegged to the dollar, right? So whatever the case may be, the world is going digital, right? It's all going digital. This is another clear indicator and sign of where the world is headed, and a clear and indicating sign that the device or the chip that they have, which is the M.O.T.B, which is the RFID chip, is that M.O.T.B, that they will put in your right hand and your forehead. It's a digital device, all right? It says, so reading on, it says applies to digital assets redeemable at a fixed value, typically $1 per token. So they're saying stablecoin equal $1 per token. They got rid of the pennies. They obviously knew they was never going to need pennies no more. Maybe the quarters and the nickels is next. Right, and everything that we, the men of the Lord, the prophets, we say and we speak on, things that you can look up and you will find the answers for them, right? Because our objective is to give you 100% truth, feeding the sheep, as our Lord Yahweh Bashmi has commanded us, right? Because it's the truth that will save you, right, and keep you stable, right? We don't need a stable coin. Anyway, it says introduced February 4th, 2025. It says pass Senate on June 17, 2025. It says pass House on July 17, 2025. And it says signed into law by President Donald Trump on July 18, 2025. And that's today. All right. It says core requirements and features. Reserve backing issuers must hold reserves in US dollar or simply liquid assets. Transparency, monthly disclosures of reserves holdings and redemption policies. It says priority in bankruptcy, right? Holders get precedence over other claims. So it goes into a lot of this stuff has to do with I guess businesses or whatnot, like your Walmarts and all of that. It says issuer eligibility, only regulated entities such as banks or registered non-bank issuers can issue stablecoins. It says regulatory oversight, dual structure, federal or state level regulations for smaller issuers. This is a. It says anti-money laundering under Bank Secrecy Act applies. Okay, so we got some information here. It says impact and implications. It says clarity and legitimization provides a clear legal framework, paving the way for banks and so banks to issue stablecoins. They got J.P. Morgan, Citi, Bank of America, right, like that. It says encourages adoption, could spur broader use in payments by integrating into traditional finance. It says we got some criticism from it. So they're worried about it going cashless. It says some conservatives, like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, oppose it. It lacks an explicit ban on CBDCs, which are central bank digital currencies, and could slide toward a cashless society, which is something they want. It says, bottom line, the Genius Act establishes the first comprehensive federal stablecoin law in the U.S. So this is the time that we're living in, the first law regarding this stablecoin, which is a digital currency. It says balancing innovation, oversight, and risk management. It opens the door for traditional banks and to issue stablecoins, but raises important questions around consumer protection, financial stability, right, and political integrity. Right, and they obviously don't care about none of that because they passed the big beautiful bill, and in there they said none of the states can come against them regarding AI regulations. So they probably have a bill come out or something where they just tell you don't worry about it. We will take care of it. Or we're going digital or something like that. Let's listen to this. Right. So if you got $1, or if you got one stable coin, that's $1. Okay. So I asked them, what do you mean pegged to the dollar? They said when a cryptocurrency like stablecoin is said to be pegged to the dollar, it means its value is tied to the value of $1 US. So one token is always supposed to equal $1. And pretty much this is Esau even trying to save himself. I was thinking to myself, because you already have the dollar, right? But majority of people use banks or they use credit cards or debit cards, and it's already digital currency. You put the money into the bank and they put the numbers on your screen, and then you can go to a store with no cash and use your debit card and swipe, and you good. It just reads the numbers off of whatever it say you got in there, and that's pretty much what they're doing. With that. It's supposed to be digital currency. I don't think they're going to give us an actual coin. It'll just be numbers, like you got the numbers in your bank account. I could be wrong though. It says, but it's digital, so I don't think I'm wrong. It says if you have one USDC, which is a US digital currency, right? A common stable coin is designed to always be worth one USD. So it's going to be backed by a real dollar. So they money was backed by gold, right? Because before you had gold and silver, so then they made paper currency that was backed by gold, and then they took that gold away from the paper currency, and then the paper currency was backed by oil, right? And that's even faltering now because people can use other currencies to get their oil now. So you just got a lot of fake money out here, and they make another fake coin. But it's because the world is going digital. So that's the point. We're watching and measuring the time diligently, right? And we see what Esau Edom is doing and how he's moving. The title of this video is one step further. So it says, why peg to the dollar? It says to avoid volatility, right? Like the Bitcoin. So, basically, is a more it's a stable coin basically because it's pegged to the dollar, right? So it's worth the dollar. It's not like one Bitcoin is worth. I mean, one stable coin is worth 50,000 regular dollars, nothing like that, right? It's just one stable coin, $1. It says it makes crypto more useful for payments. It says give the stability of the dollar with the speed of and programmability of crypto. See, so the dollar, you might take a dollar out of the bank, drive it to the store, or cash the check, however it may be, but the stable coin is already there. You don't got to go to the bank or cash the check or none of that, right? You can just go to wherever you're going and you already got it. Is numbers in your account. And they're calling it stable coin. And then pretty soon it'll be numbers in your RFID chip, right? And they can call it whatever they want, but right now they're calling it stable coin, okay? So I said, how does this affect the world or BRICS nations? Because basically the dollar's king still, and BRICS is trying to find a way around that. And pretty much the world is, right? But they're letting these BRICS nations lead it. And if they succeed, the rest of the people will just eventually follow along, right? Of course. And that's what some experts are saying. We use our system, which is America. I'm American. We use our system to buy and sell right now, whatever America set up. But once BRICS take over whatever system they got, which they got some, SWIFT, I think SWIFT was the American system. Slovakia, I'm getting mixed up, but I know SIPS, SIPS is one that China does, regarding the transfer between funds, So it says, excellent question. The Genius Act regulation of dollar pegged stablecoins could significantly affect the global financial system, especially in relation to BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, plus newer members like Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. Here's a breakdown of the key global impacts. It says global impacts of the Genius Act strengthens the US dollar digital dominance. See, so this is America still fighting for that dominance, right? Because you have these other nations trying to go around that. So, but at the same time, we have the world going digital, right? And that's the point. It says stable coins like USDC or PayPal USD are essential digital dollars. It says by giving them a clear legal framework in the US, the dollar becomes more accessible globally, even in places with weak banking systems. This could undermine BRICS efforts to reduce dependency on the dollar. All right, so this sounds like anti-BRICS nation, just like what BRICS is doing is anti-American. So they're fighting. We're in a time of war. They're fighting in many ways. All right, World War III is here. A lot of people are saying it. It's just not intensified yet. But if you look at what's happening, that's the time we're living in. So we're just measuring the time and preparing ourselves. That day take us not like a thief in the night. Right now, I'm talking about the day of the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai, when all hell is breaking loose. It says this impact makes the dollar more dominant, right, and not less, even in digital finance. So, it says point two challenges BRICS alternative currency goals. BRICS has floated ideas like a BRICS digital currency or gold-backed settlement system to compete with the dollar. All right. It says a regulated U.S. stablecoin ecosystem makes that harder by making dollar-based transactions easier and safer, attracting users in developing countries who might prefer a trusted digital dollar to local or BRICS currencies. I'm gonna grab a few scriptures right here. First, I want to grab Psalms 2. It is Esau trying to save himself in a dying world. His age, his rulership is over with, right? It's interesting to watch, though. It says Psalms 2:1, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? NLT says, why are the nations so angry? Why do they waste their time with futile plans, which is basically pointless plans? It says the kings of the earth prepare for battle. The rulers plot together against the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai against his anointed one. And that's exactly what they're doing. All right. So anyway, I want to grab this other one. You get Nahum. All right, this is Nahum 3. And I just get 19. This Nahum 3:19, it's talking about Babylon the Great, right? It says, there is no healing of thy bruise, thy wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap their hands over thee, for upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually. So this is America trying to heal themselves, right? And we're seeing this. They're scrambling with this, digital currency and things like that, trying to gain back their dominance, and that's why Revelation 12:12 say what it says. They're going to move with great wrath because they know they have but a short time. So a lot of these things are going to be, pushed out there, or laws are going to be passed where, no one can interfere them. They're going to move full steam ahead. All right. So anyway, so it says impact for this. Point 2 says BRICS currency alternatives may face slower adoption or less trust internationally. And I say this is a vain thought because America has lost the trust that it had. People don't trust America because of the shameful stealing that's being put on their glory. The Most High Yahweh Bashmi Shah is exposing these devils to be truly wicked and not to even trust the laws that they put in place. Nothing stable about stable coins when it's the devil giving it to you, right? And the world will pretty much see that. But hey, we here in America, we gonna get, they gonna force it on us regardless, right? So it says point 3. It says create pressure on other countries to regulate stablecoins. It says many countries are still deciding how to treat stablecoins. Some ban them, some ignore them, others cautiously regulate them. It says the U.S. now has a clear playbook that might push the EU to fast track its MiCA rules, Asian nations to adopt similar frameworks because America is the power right now, right? So they're pushing the world to go digital if they're gonna, stabilize this coin. Pretty much the world follows and marvels behind America. So it says BRICS to accelerate work on CBDCs or regional payment systems, right? So this is the beast pushing his power over the nations, right? Because you still need trade and all of this, and America is still strong, but it's dying. It's a dying America, okay? And they still have some pull. They can do certain things. It says impact forces global conditions or risk of being left behind. And matter of fact, even that's what Revelation says. It was, it was in the power of his hand. It was Revelations. 15. Revelation chapter 13, verse 15. It says, "And he saw even the so-called white man, the revised Roman Empire. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed." Right, and the elder apostles and all the men of GMS, right, and affiliate members of GMS, and everyone that's been pushing this thing has been talking about this for a while now, starting with the elder apostles right on down. And basically they started with getting the dollar back by oil, taking off the gold standard, pushing for the credit cards, the debit cards, and things like that, and now even pushing for this digital type thing with this Bitcoin and all of that. Right? Who started all this? America. This digital age and digital wave, and as you can see, verse 15 again, Revelation 13 and 15, that he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's the new world order. The world is heading toward that new world order, the fourth industrial revolution, right? Because they're progressing towards that, which is a digital age. All right, so point 4 says weakens use of BRICS currencies in trade. Countries doing trade with Africa, Latin America, or the Middle East might now prefer using dollar stablecoins over local BRICS currencies like the Chinese yuan, Indian rupee, or Brazilian real. Right, so impact could delay BRICS de-dollarization plans by digitalizing dollar dominance. So BRICS is trying to de-dollarize, right? And America is strengthening their dollar by digitalizing their dollar, right? And it all points towards the M.O.T.B, right? Because if you have a digital currency, it needs to be stored somewhere. You need to use it somehow. Right now, like I said, you got the credit cards, the debit cards. Now they're even talking about wearables, where it's tracking your health and things like that. And you can't see eventually, you're going to have something where it's all in one spot, pursuant to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. It's going to be all in one spot. All right. So this is the warning. It's something you need to avoid and steer clear from. You have to trust in the Lord. It will be a great testing. Scriptures say what it say. It says in verse 16, and he calleth all, this is Revelation 13 and 16, and he calleth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So you don't need the mark to buy or sell. So you need to trust in the Lord Yahweh try to get out of this, because you have to buy to eat, right? You have to sell to make money, whatever the case may be. And then if you get paid from your jobs and things, they got to put that digital money somewhere. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. So maybe that's that. Maybe that's why they call it the Genius Act. So we have the big picture here. It says the digital dollar versus BRIC vision. So we have Genius Act US. It says legalize and regulates US stablecoins, reinforces dollar-based system, likely attracts global users and investors, private sector-led banks, all right, fintechs. All right, so we got BRICS vision, seeks alternative to the dollar, pushes multipolar currency settlement system, struggles with adoption and trust, often state-led or centralized. Central bank digital currency is what they're talking about. So, we'll just see what happens. The final thought is the Genius Act gives the U.S. an edge in digital. Let's see what this guy wants. All right, so that was pretty much it. Me ended up here. It says the final thoughts is the Genius Act gives the U.S. an edge in digital monetary infrastructure, just as BRICS is trying to wean the world off the dollar. In short term, it hurts BRICS de-dollarization efforts, but it may also force innovation among BRICS nations. So another step forward, the Genius Bill Act, which issues forth the stable coin, right? So the world is going digital, and pretty soon the M.O.T.B is right around the corner. So shalom to the elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.